Welcome back to the Academy of Evil, or
Oh,
at
I
least
just
this computer
realized that the
system.
whole school thing is basically the climax.
Yeah, this is the point of the chapter. Well, if you can count it, it's not officially divided into chapters. There's only one game that does that, and it's the worst game, practically. But yeah, this is the dungeon of the place. So
Right.
of course, you could count this as basically being its own Mega Man stage, but with a different type of challenge.
Yeah.
Especially since, with how Mega Man designed, you know that the standard, we're going to show you this thing, then we're going to show you something different, and then we're going to combine the two later, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's somewhat specific. I'm thinking of kind of what Mario does, basically,
Well, yeah,
where
there's also the 3 point structure in Mario, but um, I guess mainly because I play more Mega Man, I associate it more with Mega Man. Not saying it's exclusive, but just
oh
under
yeah, absolutely.
association.
It's been useful in being able seeing okay knowing about that structure from seeing that video about it made me better able to see good Mario Maker levels and make good Mario Maker levels. Because I'm better able to spread out the challenge, that makes sense.
Oh,
And
hey,
see
first
when
grade.
someone, oh,
Oop, that's not good.
who's the teacher? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so nice job with your adult mental fortitude. You fell as quickly as the first graders.
I thought he was just a mole.
No, no, he's a teacher. And yet, even these guys, like these two,
No wonder
they're the
his
bright
head is going to
children.
split in two because it's the size of a watermelon.
Exactly. So we should only really be concerned about that, like that little girl. It's weird how they're like conscious of the fact that it's working.
Hmm.
Like, how would that even be?
And they're never going to explain what happened to the first graders.
Is there the rehabilitation that needs to take place? Yeah, they're never going to explain what happens.
It'd be
Not
funny
every this
if Mega Man Battle Network. What are we at now?
we're at down there. Wait, in terms of the full series, like the numbered games, we're at 6.
Yeah, so Mega Man Battle Network 7. All the first graders have grown up, and they're now a team of WWW that you have to destroy.
Nice idea, but the ending of Battle Network 6 debunks any of that.
Plus, wouldn't he still be too young for them to have grown up anyways?
No, because we skip ahead in the future a bit for the ending. You know that type.
Oh, so wait, that was actually a series ending? And
Yeah,
not. Oh. Oh, yeah, because Star Force, I guess. How does that work? This is
Star
already
Force is
futuristic enough.
Star Force is 200 years, I think, in
Yeah,
the
but I
future
mean,
from
how's the
Battle
world
Network.
if this world is already futuristic?
Well, they moved on from having actually they still have like things hooked up to constant systems, but now they've expanded their knowledge of electromagnetic waves and have revamped the technology even more. So now there's like like train cars pulled on like light wires and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Of course, that also means that navies are obsolete. You can only find like a few navies in Star Force.
Oh, why? Because people can just
They
go in
peop,
directly?
well, no, because people have a new type of interface called wizards, and they're more advanced than navies. So the navi system went obsolete with only a few left.
Oh, but aren't they all sentient?
Yeah, well, the thing is that unlike with the normal Mega Man, The sentience of the Navis are questionable. The wizards are definitely well actually no, the wizards are more advanced, so I'd say they'd be the closest things to sentience. But as for Navis, it's in a weird area. I'd say they're not. The only exception to that being Mega Man for specific reasons.
Okay, so Mega Man Star Force, which is what I'm going to call him. Is he a Navi or a wizard?
He's a human who fused with an alien that's made out of electromagnetic waves.
Okay, so when I asked that question, I certainly didn't expect that answer.
But yeah, so it just allows him to go into the EM wave world, as you'd call it, and interact with stuff. So basically, it's similar enough to what we're doing like right now, just like saving stuff through the system.
Is the front door open?
No, the front door is not open.
Is it made of digital diamonds? Why don't I just burst them?
Because they're kids and they're panicking and they're starting to want to not to leave. Because remember, almost every door was locked for until we stopped.
Yeah,
it.
but I mean the teachers.
Oh yeah, the teachers. Speaking of which, there's one right now that I'm like, ignoring just in case there's a secret. Because you can find chips in corners and such.
Well, there's an option to not help.
I haven't. That's because it's like I think railroads you to a certain point.
Yeah, one of those
think.
fake ones where like the one of the 1,000 you have to do in Sun and Moon with Lily.
Well, that's more. Well, yes, I guess that is more fake ones because it doesn't really have an impact on anything other than the dialogue immediately after, and I kind of don't like that. Even though I'm always nice to Lily because Lily is a precious little being.
That'd be amazing.
No, more I'd put it like Lily's more standoffish because the entire point is that you're still best friends. But I'd love it if like her overall dialogue got more sassy.
Or if
That
he
would be
treats you
nice.
more like, oh, she's my friend, but she deserves her space.
Yeah, that too could also like work. That I mean, just like how is how, so you just like we can't really reason with him. So at least that would have been nice. I like games that do that, but not. When I say like gives you other choices for like evil, I usually don't like choosing jerk choices, even though they have interesting things. Just
Yeah, I usually
interesting
don't
dialogue.
like choosing it either.
It just feels bad. And worse when it turns out there's an actual consequence. Like, no, I didn't mean it. I just wanted to find out.
Yeah, I know there's one where I don't know if it was a dog or something. There's something in a game I played where I chose the wrong choice, and that stuck. Like, oh no.
Yeah. But we have confronted the person running the program. It is Numberman. And the plot and the reason why Higsby is evil is simple. He's a chip nerd. The WWW is like, hey man, we'll like pay you a lot of money to get new chips if you work for us. And he was like, cool deal. And that's pretty much it.
That's good. An uncomplicated reason for being evil.
We don't get reasons for everybody in this series, but technically we never need to.
Yeah.
No, Numberman is pathetic. He was not meant, just like, the thing is about Higsby is that he's all about battle chips or whatever. But because they haven't implemented, like, like, alternate chip stuff in the game for the Navis, and I'm only choosing these sword things to get rid of them so I can find better stuff because he'll always stay in the back row. He just keeps using innate abilities instead of actually like using battle chips. It's not until like Battle Network 4 one of the few good things about that game is that the enemies start using battle chips like you do, instead of just using the Navi's innate abilities. Because the thing is that something with Mega Man, as we'll find out much more later during the series, everybody else, all, these Navis are like highly customized, so they have very special attacks. And you actually get to play as some of them in Battle Network 5. But the thing is that when you actually Mega Man's special customization like extends for a bunch of potential. That was always the whole thing with Mega Man in terms of like almost every series potential. It's a whole thing where you start off with just the Buster and then you put out the whole thing with getting the powers and everything past that. But base Mega Man only has the Buster. So even like normal navis even normal navis and even just like special ones have busters. So he seems pretty standard, which is probably why people keep underestimating him.
Yeah, that makes sense. He doesn't look like a threat, which is the best thing to do.
Well, I mean, like at a certain point, I forget if the villains do that thing where I forget specifically in the series where the villains do that thing where they constantly underestimate, even though he should have a reputation. But yeah, I think that does happen. But still, Mega Man by himself just basically has a Buster and whatever chips Stan has, like any other normal kid. So that's why he just like looks like a civilian getting into business that he has no idea of the ramifications of. Of course, Higsby realized after Numberman is destroyed, just like realizes what he's lost in this entire thing, even though he has a backup for later, and decides what I'm not gonna be evil anymore. It's not like I submitted like a whole bunch of children to like brainwashing and should go to jail forever. Well, said you do have to pay for your crimes, but he doesn't. All he does is open a chip shop. It's like that's still business that you should not have any ordinance to own.
I mean, if he was so easy to throw away all of his ideals, clearly the brainwashing wasn't that bad.
It's no, because he himself is not brainwashed. He just has the brainwashing program that he makes Numberman play. And the thing is that it's implied that, well, okay, I won't say implied, but it makes sense that this wouldn't be the only school hit. Because remember, like this stuff has played in other schools. So who was responsible for that? Was it Higsby? Was it somebody else? We know that we do meet an ex. Okay, we're just going to call the WWW by their anime name, the World 3, to just make things easier. But yeah, just we find ex World 3 people at a later point in the story. So I don't know, maybe they managed to get out while that entire thing was happening. But this series is inconsistent to how people's crimes are treated. Because some people get off way too easily. One person in particular.
Do some people actually get too harsh?
Well, I think in one place like the best like that villains would do would range through terrorism and then range for cheating. So I'm trying to remember specific instances, but a lot of those stuff. A lot of that stuff is in Battle Network 4, and I wish to forget as much as Battle Network 4 as possible. So it's not. I won't be the most reliable one for that. But
Hmm.
like, I'd say that some people have to like pay off for their crimes. I still think that the punishment system is way too lax, but some people are just they manage to get normal jobs afterwards. Like, no, you should be blacklisted. What are you doing?
Hmm. It's. I wanted to ask something,
That
but
is
no, well, I didn't remember,
okay.
unfortunately. So here's the thing. They seem kind of. They didn't even go home from school.
Well, school. Well, they didn't rush home, yes, because they're just like I guess this is just like checking in on everything else. So yeah,
Yeah,
the
but I
front
mean, the
doors.
students, a terrorist attack happened at school, and the others continued. It's almost like American school.
Oh, well, it's not like every student has stayed back. Just it was like see you tomorrow. It's not like we were almost a part of like a huge brainwashing scheme and would become hardened criminals.
Yeah, you think that some of them would be scared to come back to school.
Yeah, but kids in this world are super hardcore.
I
They can
mean, one of
handle
them just
anything.
saved the day, so it's probably
And
true.
will make a con. As I've said to you before, this city would be destroyed many times over if it weren't for Lan and Mega Man.
Hmm.
So, yeah. Of course, like, it's not like they're the only ones doing stuff. We'll meet a character later that's part of the official net police. And luckily, they're not like the YouTube police. Well,
Hmm.
actually, if you think about it, there are some parallels that can be drawn, but we'll get to that eventually. Here I'm just visiting some other systems to see if there's any special chips I can get.
Hmm. That reminds me of me. What did I recently do? Oh, gosh, you thought I was on the tip of my tongue. Where
Real
I
what?
recently did something. Okay, I'm getting messages, so let me just turn that off.
Will he ever finish his thought, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, so there's this thing that I recently played, my new Super Mario Bros. DS. That's not what I'm thinking about, but it also applies. Where I'm not going to get the rest of the star coins I missed because some of them involve Tiny Mario, which means involve beating a level as Tiny Mario, and it's just a hassle to use Tiny Mario.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a choice, because Battle Network has a stipulation in every game where there's secret areas, the more battle chips that you have, with secret bosses and stuff. And there's always a super secret boss once you collect every battle chip. It is a pain in some games, a nightmare in others. But those are for people who just like constantly like decide to go against the grind. Um, so, I mean, I will be showing off all secret bosses, but I won't be showing off getting all of the chips because then this would take forever. Well, I
I
guess if I like
understand.
abridge things, but still, it would
Yeah.
take forever. And there would be repeats of certain bosses because you'd have to get version 1 to 3 of their chips. But we'll get into how that works probably in the next part if I find the ghost data.